Hi, this is Swan from Swan Amity Studios. In this video, we're going to be looking at how to cut out our pattern from freezer paper. Once we have traced our freezer paper with the pattern that we're going to be using, and we're ready to add it to the fabric that we've chosen, we need to be able to cut out our freezer paper so that we get a nice, clean, smooth edge and all of our pieces look neat. And that way, when we are ready to add them to the fabric and turn over our edge, as you can see in some of our other videos, we'll be working with the smoothest possible edge in our freezer paper. So here I've traced 1, 2, and 3, which are these, 1, 2, and 3, onto my freezer paper. This is the reverse image of my pattern, which is always the case when we're using the freezer paper starch method. And in this case, I have my paper cutting scissors. This is an inexpensive pair of Gingers, which are more suited to use for paper than for fabric. And here we're going to start with an outside edge. So here I'm going to bring my scissors into the paper and begin cutting a smooth line around my curve. Anytime that I have to start shifting my hand, I instead need to turn the paper. And that way, my scissors get to stay in line with my body and not have to start to move my shoulder outward or my elbow outward. We're always going to stop and shift the paper whenever we need to, so that as we come up on a spot where we would turn, instead of beginning to cut across our bodies, we stop and turn the paper, keep our scissors in line with our bodies, and instead we always turn the paper. We're going to cut out our whole shape, and as we cut, we're always turning the paper. Smooth lines, so anytime that we start and stop, we bring the scissors all the way into the cleft in the paper and then continue with a nice steady hand. Now as we get up here to the top, I'm going to take a moment to cut this away from the other bulk of the pattern, and that way I just have that small connection point and I can complete that without anything creating drag on my piece. So there's my piece all cut out nice and easy. Sometimes you're going to have pieces that you have traced and they're all connected. And the first thing you look for is how to take off a portion to give you a nice smooth line to work with. And so in this case, I would always start here and I would just take the ears away from the head, maintaining a nice smooth line. And anytime that I get around the edge of the curve, of course, I'm turning my paper and not my hands and scissors. So now I would have this section, I can cut the ears out independently. And the next thing I would take off is the nose, and then the cheeks, and everything would be nice and separated and ready to go. A simple guide to cutting out things with a nice smooth line. Remember, we turn the paper and not our scissors. We keep everything in line with our body, and this gives us a lot more control over our pieces. We separate outside pieces first, then we take off a little top portion, and that allows us to separate out the final pieces. This has been a simple tips and tricks video on cutting out with nice smooth edges from Swan Amity Studios. If you would like to take a look at prepping your pieces on fabric and beginning to turn over your edges, please look at our studio videos for more options on tips and tricks for your own applique at home with the freezer paper starch method. You can find us online at swanamity.com. That's SWANAMITY.com. And you can find us also on Facebook, Swan Amity Studios, and Swan Amity on Instagram. Thanks for watching.